My name is Lindsay Schwartz.
My name's Bill Schwartz.
My name is Steven Schwartz.
It was our first baby, and then once we found we were having a boy, it was even more exciting because it was the first boy on both sides of the family. Went to the doctor's office for an ultrasound, and pretty quickly we knew something wasn't right.
You go in and they're not talking and they're doing their thing for the sonogram, and this particular one kind of dragged on.
Doctor came in and sat us down and said, "You have no amniotic fluid."
And that's when we found out that there was an issue.
The disease that had attacked his kidneys were making them gigantic and filled with cysts.
And from there, everything kind of just spun.
Without amniotic fluid, the baby just isn't able to develop. Lung function and the organs can't form and develop. The doctor also told us the devastating news that Stephen likely wouldn't survive.
It was tough. It was very tough because Lindsay was very pregnant. We'd go to the ultrasounds and we'd hear his heartbeat. And, you know, he was named, so it was tough. We just believed in each other, and we knew that we were going to do everything we could.
And it was actually a nephrologist at Children's National that gave us a little bit of hope about what we could do about Stephen's kidneys. And he explained to us that once Stephen was born, if he made it to birth and he had enough lung function, they would remove both of his diseased kidneys, put in a peritoneal dialysis catheter, and he would do dialysis every night until he got big enough and healthy enough for a kidney transplant. And that's all we needed to hear to know that we could do it.
We pushed the thought of what the likely outcome would be from our minds. I mean, there were some dark days where we had to make decisions in case it didn't work out, but I think we were the best prepared we could be and in the best position. When they pulled Stephen out, he cried.
He came out screaming and breathing, thank God. He needed some support. He needed a CPAP, but he didn't need to be intubated, which was huge. About 6 days later, he had a double nephrectomy, and at the same time, they put in his dialysis catheter. He spent 59 days in the NICU, a lot of ups and downs, and by the time we were ready to go home, he was off manual dialysis and onto a machine that we would set up in our house called a cycler.
We had a dialysis machine in his bedroom, and he was hooked up at night.
And so that would go on all night long for 12 hours every night.
It was just part of our life, and it was that way for 2.5 years.
I was just crying and I was really sick. And I was throwing up a lot, and yeah, a lot.
He was very distressed and very fussy and very sick. It took about, I'd say, a year and 2 months for everything to work itself out.
I think Lindsay and I found out that you don't really need much sleep for years at a time.
There were a lot of tears. It was difficult. But then once everything got under control, you really wouldn't know it unless you looked under his little clothes and saw all these tubes and things. He was a fine-tuned machine, but it took a long time to get to that point. So the light at the end of the tunnel was always a kidney transplant. We knew from the get-go that Stephen was O positive. My husband and I are both A positive. So he would either get a deceased donor kidney or we would need to find a living donor kidney for him.
It stunk. Mom, Dad, and me were just not happy until we found a kidney donor that Dad knew, and yeah, it's crazy.
And our friend Kristen Freeman stepped up and said, "I want to be tested. I'm O positive and I feel like I'm going to be Stephen's match."
Mom, Dad were trying to find a kidney donor, and then Dad asked and Kristen, and she's like, "Yes, I have one."
And it was a lot to ask of somebody. She said, "No, I think this is what I'm meant to do." And I'm meant to teach my girls, that giving back is the most important thing. And it ended up that she was an identical match. and we made plans for transplant in May.
I know that they rushed me in, and I was like freaking out, like when they were like surrounding me in surgery. My mom and dad weren't there, and I was like, where am I? I was confused. I didn't know where I was.
The surgery went really well.
They put it in a freezer. They sucked it over to Philly, where I was.
Kristen's kidney was awesome.
And they just cut, and here it is, right here. Yeah.
They stuffed that big kidney in that little body. Kristen's 6 feet tall. To have that kidney go in there and to see him afterwards.
And Kristen, she's really nice. And my mom and dad thanked her.
All we wanted was him to have a normal life and be able to go to school. And transplant was the only way to get there.
Up to Stephen's birth, we had one set of concerns. Once Stephen was born, we had another set of concerns. And each time we'd get through one, it'd be another. So it was really important for us, to have those goals and strive to get him to that place.
Take me out to the
Ball game.
It was Team Schwartz. That was always the mantra, that we could kind of fight through anything.
We're at 5 years now. He had his 5-year kidney transplant anniversary in May 9th. And it was a big milestone for sure. He'll be 8 in January, and he's doing amazing. His kidney function is perfect. His levels where everything needs to be are wonderful. You wouldn't have a clue that he's been down this road without really knowing or seeing the scars. You would have no idea.
We went to the kidney ball. One of the auction items was to throw out the first pitch in the Nats game. I remember coming back to the table and telling my wife, I'm like, I am not losing on that. I don't care if we have to mortgage the house. I'm getting that for Stephen. So long story short, we won, we got it. Stephen and I practiced throwing out the first pitch.
Me and my dad were practicing for like 20 days.
I told Stephen that when you throw out the first pitch, you throw it from the mound. Like, I don't care how old you are. Like, that's what you do. And so Stephen was like, great. So we walked off 60 feet, 6 inches, and we practiced from 60 feet, 6 inches.
Throwing out today's ceremonial first pitch, please welcome Stephen Schwartz.
One of the individuals with the Nats said, okay, buddy, you're going to throw it from right in front of home plate. It was like 25 feet.
Catching his pitch is Wilmer Defoe. Stephen, when you're ready, it's your pitch.
You could see where he was supposed to go. There's a guy going, oh, no, no, no. He beelines it for the mound. But as he starts walking out to the field, the crowd going nuts.
Great pitch! Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Schwartz.
And Stephen's just handling it like it was just another day. The situation wasn't too big for him, which was mind-blowing.
Yeah, they were like, Stephen Schwartz. And then they said what happened to me. It was pretty cool. And they said Aunt Kristen's name, and it was really cool.
Hey, Stephen. Bye-bye. I love you.
You know, it's a big deal that he gets to go to school, and it's a big deal that he can play baseball, and it's a big deal we can go on vacation. You know, those were all things that we never thought we would be able to do with him.
I know that my kidney helps me survive, and I know that made me be here today, and it really helped me stay healthy and alive. Yeah.
Kristen didn't give her kidney to Stephen to be thanked. She did it because she felt that it was the right thing to do. You know, that we all can touch other people in different ways, and this was just an amazing way that she could help us.
Oh, did you miss? What's the matter?
You never know whose life you're going to change. You never know who in your life is going to be affected by it.
We're all walking around with 2 kidneys and we only need 1. So I would say to somebody who's thinking about it, don't hesitate and think about how this can positively impact so many lives.
Just understand that by attending this event, by giving donations, if your time is the donation, whatever it is, there's real people who see real benefits from it.
I would say thank you for giving us money, and that's really nice of you to do that. You keep doing that. Yeah.
So our hope for Steven is that he just continues to have a really happy, healthy, normal life.
It's just an amazing thing to see a kid go through so much pain in his short life, and then to see him now, and he's such a joy, and he's such just a great kid.
And hopefully too, each year that he gets a little bit older, he'll really come to fully realize all he's been through and how significant it is and how significant he is and how brave and strong he is.